40 to 50 million. This is the amount of abortions committed per year according to the World Health Organization, also known as WHO. This is an unnecessarily amount of unneeded deaths per year, and that's why the number seems so drastic, and that's why it crazes me that so many people fight so hard for this idea after it causes so many lives per year. Now, the thing that I'm trying to push here is that we need to limit the amount of non-essential abortions, also known as elective abortions. Inside of the US alone, there was 382,320 abortions committed in licensed facilities, also known as safe abortions. This number doesn't even reflect the amount of unsafe abortions committed inside of non-licensed facilities. And through both of these cases, the biggest problem that lies is the unnecessary amount of loss of life. Now, I myself do not agree with abortion, as I feel like it's an unnecessary loss of life, and I don't believe in it due to moral and religious ideals. Now, because of this, I'm not saying that all abortion should be restricted. I believe that abortion is a very necessary thing, as some people do genuinely need the abortions in cases of the abortion will kill the mother or other cases like that. But I'm saying that abortion is not necessary for everything. Now, there's a need for this. So there's a solution needed for this problem. The ideal solution that I have come up with is that to promote abstinence and safer sexual habits throughout children and high schoolers and college students. Now, because of this, I think the best way to push for this kind of thing is through pushing for safer sexual education throughout school. And if we can move this on, I know you can't push college students to act safer sexually. I mean, they're college students. I go to college. Most of them wouldn't listen to you if you showed them exactly what was going to happen. But I feel if we started the youth out with this idea that we could slowly move it across the board and bring it to a point where we could promote abstinence to such a point that unnecessary abortions would no longer be needed at all. Now, because of this, a lot of states have put in the legislation where some states have moved it to where you can have an abortion up to the point that the child is born. And at this point, the child doesn't necessarily need the mother that it was born from. It could live with a different mother or go into a foster home, things like that. And then other states have moved into the idea of abortions are only allowed in absolutely necessary situations. And that's also not the right way to go about this either. We need to move to a system that allows the abortions, but people will no longer need these elective abortions. And it brings me to my point that the safest way to prevent abortion is to promote abstinence and safer sexual habits. The only surefire way to not have a child is through practicing abstinence. And I feel that families need to move their way into having a more stable household before moving to having sexual habits with each other. And this is because no contraceptive device has 100% chance to prevent the birth of a child. But abstinence does. There's never been a single child born that needed to be aborted that was born out of abstinence. Now, because of this, I would say that the most negative thing about abortion that comes from it, that would be the most positive thing about this plan, is that so many women go through guilt and all these stress factors that lead them to even commit suicide in some cases. And there's sites like hopeafterabortion.com that provides help to these women. They share their stories to help each other get through these tough times, then help them move past their abortions. I also feel like sites like this could help dissuade people from having abortions, as they could see the true problems that people experience after having abortions. Your problems don't just stop after you have the abortion. It carries much further on because now you have mental side effects. And that loss of life, whether you did not cherish it or not, it still will affect you. Then I'll move into the point of that stopping abortion is safer for everyone. It's safer for the child because the child won't have to be terminated anymore because there was never a child in the first place. But then we also move to that This solution doesn't need any legislation to back it up. If we push people to go for abstinence, the numbers will drop significantly instantly, because if there's no child to terminate, there's no need for an abortion. Then I'll move into my points of how so many people say that putting legislation upon abortions and having this negative idea against abortions pushes people to have unsafe abortions in non-regulated, non-licensed facilities. These facilities are absolutely terrible for the idea of terminating a pregnancy, because when you go to these facilities, they're non-licensed inside of the procedure. So they don't really know how to do it. Now, this can be squashed very fast by saying abstinence has no need for anything such as that. And if we promote abstinence, there's no need to have unsafe abortions or safe abortions, as then we would only have essential abortions that have to be done for the mother's life. Then I move into, again, the entire way that this entire plan works is that abstinence is the key. If we move to an idea system that if we promote abstinence and wait till later on in life, we can prevent the guilt that comes after a woman having an abortion, the amount of unneeded loss of life, and we can slowly move into making sure everyone who needs an abortion has a safe abortion, and there will be no need for an unsafe abortion. Through all these practices together, we can move to a way of stopping abortion. Now, I'm sure everyone may not feel that they can relate to this idea, but think about the fact that you once were a fetus inside of your mother, and you could have been that very same child that was aborted. And that's why I feel that this is a style that people should move towards, that will push people to take it a little bit further into action. That, okay, this is something that could have happened to me. Why would I want it to happen to somebody else? Thank you.